News Channel 5 investigates. Winner of a National Murrow Award.
Tonight, it's the economy candidates. Money woes now rival Iraq as an issue for voters as even high-end stores start feeling the pinch from tight-fisted shoppers. I'm Jeff Glore. Also tonight, the case of the bungled FBI phone bills. The plug is pulled on wiretaps in criminal and terrorist cases because the Bureau didn't pay its bills. How this man made his dream of a new kind of hybrid car come true. And welcome to a different sort of Super Bowl. We'll catch a wave with some of the most daring surfers on Earth.
I made it without a wipeout, so I'm happy.
Nice.
This is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening. The ongoing drumbeat of bad economic news is reshaping the contours of Campaign 08. A new Associated Press poll shows the economy effectively tied with the war in Iraq as the most important issue for U.S. voters, a big change from just 3 months ago. Economic uncertainty is already taking a toll on the nation's retailers, including some of the priciest merchants around. Randall Pinkston has more.
It's another sign of economic doldrums. Tiffany's, the jewel of the nation's luxury retailers, is losing its luster. Holiday sales in its U.S. stores were disappointing. Even though Tiffany's wealthiest consumers continue to spend with strong sales for $10,000 to $50,000 items, one important group, the mid-tier luxury consumer, held back on the $1,000 to $10,000 purchases. Candace Corlitt's company monitors consumer spending.
This holiday season, with the increasing mortgage rates, the increasing fuel prices, that this upper-tier shopper hit the wall.
Other high-end retailers like Nordstrom, Saks, and Coach were also down.
Have a nice day.
Joining JCPenney's, Macy's, and Target, suggesting that shoppers across the board tighten their purse strings.
Between high debt levels, trouble in the real estate market, trouble in the stock market, a deteriorating labor market, high energy costs, the consumers spent. They have no place left to go but cut back.
Consumer spending, especially among the upper middle class, normally keeps the economy ticking. This is the first time in years that group is also having to make hard choices.
That's a new situation for them. They now have to choose. Will it be the $1,500 flat screen TV or the $1,500 jewel from Tiffany? They can't buy both anymore.
With stock prices falling and energy costs rising, cutbacks in spending by wealthier consumers could put the final whammy on the economy's engine.
We think the wheels are about ready to fall off the proverbial truck here. We think things are going to get a lot worse than better in the next first quarter, first half of 08.
That's the view shared by many analysts. And while everyone waits to see just how far the economy will fall, consumers of all income levels are becoming more anxious and more careful about where they spend their money. Jeff?
Randall Pinkston, thank you. The faltering economy will be high on the agenda when President Bush meets with Democratic congressional leaders after his return from overseas. Both sides want a stimulus package, but it likely won't come without a fight. Joey Chen reports from the White House.
As he set off for the Mideast this week, the president admitted something closer to home had his attention, the growing worry of a looming recession.
I'm sure you know what I know, that many Americans are anxious about our economy.
Eager to take up an increasingly hot-button issue, Democrats on Capitol Hill signaled they are ready to deal. The House and Senate majority leaders writing to the president late yesterday, "We want to work with you and the Republican leadership to immediately get a stimulus package passed and implemented into law without delay." But neither side is committed to any specific solutions. Democrats are pondering a laundry list of possibilities, including tax rebate checks, extended unemployment benefits, and a short-term increase in the food stamp program, all aimed at providing a temporary boost to the sagging economy, as well as longer-term fixes like federal money to spur new jobs in the construction industry. But Republicans remain skeptical of big spending solutions and may instead look for an inroad to extending the president's tax cuts. That may be a deal breaker.
We should not have stimulus policies today that would permanently burden our children tomorrow.
The economy will have to be a top agenda item when the president returns from his Mideast trip. He hopes to include a jumpstart plan as part of his State of the Union address at the end of the month. But, Jeff, the economists are already warning that unless the two sides are able to work out their differences very quickly, any stimulus may be too little and may come too late.
Joey Chen, thank you. Presidential hopefuls are wasting no time trying to seize the economic issue as their own. For Republicans, that means focusing full attention on a big state whose primary is only 3 days away. Chip Reed is in Madison Heights, Michigan tonight. Chip.
Well, good evening, Jeff. There are 3 Republicans who are campaigning aggressively here in Michigan: John McCain, Mitt Romney, and Mike Huckabee. And with unemployment higher here than it is anywhere else in the nation, all 3 are making clear that the economy is job one.
John McCain appears re-energized after turning around his campaign. But outside Detroit today, the crowd wanted to know how he would turn Michigan around.
Jobs are being eliminated and they're being sent overseas into other countries.
Delivering what he calls straight talk, McCain said most of those lost jobs are not coming back. So what would he do?
Design and implement education and training programs to give these workers another chance.
The key, he says, is creating new jobs in the high-tech automotive industry of the future.
We've got to have the technology and the encouragement of it necessary for the most productive worker in the world, who's here in Michigan, to be able to take advantage of that.
For me, Michigan is personal.
Mitt Romney may have the most riding on Michigan. After disappointing finishes in Iowa and New Hampshire, his campaign could be over if he doesn't do well here where he was born and raised.
All the way to the convention, absolutely.
Romney, a successful businessman himself, is a fan of free market economics. But today at a GM plant where 200 workers are being laid off, he called for the federal government to do more.
As year after year goes by and more layoffs occur, and more plants are closed, the question is, where is Washington?
We don't need a change for higher taxes. We need a change for lower taxes.
Mike Huckabee is also counting on a strong performance in Michigan. And he's ramping up his populist message, just what many voters want to hear in a state with an unemployment rate just under 8%.
We need a government who's more interested in helping you keep your jobs and keeping somebody halfway around the world in their jobs. That's what kind of government you deserve.
Of course, as you can see behind me, John McCain's bus is here in Michigan, but there are 2 Republicans' names you will not see on buses here: Rudy Giuliani and Fred Thompson. Giuliani is campaigning almost exclusively in Florida, and Thompson is focusing on South Carolina, and they're both hoping that bypassing Michigan won't hurt them. Jeff?
Chip Reed, thank you. The Democratic candidates are also scrambling to get out ahead on the economic issue as they look ahead to next weekend's caucuses in Nevada. Jim Axelrod is in Reno tonight with that part of the story. Jim, good evening to you. What are the Democrats saying about the economy tonight?
Well, as they plot strategy, particularly the Clinton campaign, they're looking at Tuesday in New Hampshire and seeing what's applicable down the road. That is, Hillary Clinton won and won big, with voters who felt the economy was the most pressing issue, and also voters who felt their families were being left behind, which is why she's been out this week talking about a $70 billion stimulus plan to get the economy jump-started, particularly targeting some of the mortgage problems, the mortgage crisis that we've been hearing so much about. Barack Obama also will focus on the economy, seeing the same data, worried about the subprime mortgage. He's made a lot of outreach to factory and mill workers in South Carolina, as well as the dishwashers and service workers in Nevada. Both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama know that the economy is either equal now to the war in Iraq as the #1 issue of concern to Americans, or even exceeded it, according to some polls. Jeff?
Jim, you think the Clinton campaign specifically, though, has learned even more after New Hampshire. What did they learn?
Well, they really feel strongly about the way Hillary Clinton was positioned as a listener. That's why you'll see an ad come out where it talks about her ability as a listener. But the most important thing the Clinton campaign got out of Tuesday, they feel they must draw direct contrast with Barack Obama to improve their chances of winning. So you will hear Hillary Clinton ask voters to look beyond the rhetoric and go to the reality of his record. Jeff?
Jim Axelrod in Reno. Jim, thank you. President Bush received an exotic welcome today in the Persian Gulf country of Bahrain. Mr. Bush was greeted by sword-waving men performing a traditional dance. The president praised Iraq's parliament for passing a law today allowing members of Saddam Hussein's Ba'ath Party to hold government jobs. And he celebrated the success of the troop surge that he ordered a year ago. CBS's Mark Strassman has more on the military's crackdown this week on insurgents.
Let's go! Just south of Baghdad, the front line aggressively pushes forward. U.S. forces flushing out and killing insurgents.
I saw these muzzle flashes.
To Lieutenant Stephen Kim's patrol, muzzle flashes are just one of the threats.
A lot of these houses had been booby-trapped.
Yes, sir.
This operation attacks insurgents wherever they're hiding. Major General Rick Lynch says insurgents are on the run. Nationwide, their attacks have plummeted 60%. Still,
it worries me when people start talking about we have defeated the insurgency. We haven't. But we damn sure had a difference, made a difference on them.
This week, U.S. airstrikes set the operation's tone.
Missile away.
24 tons of U.S. bombs dropped on insurgent targets in one morning.
We decided to blow them all up at the same time.
This offensive won't be easy. In some of these areas, insurgents have been dug in for more than a year. Areas where U.S. soldiers just haven't been. North of Baghdad, more U.S. raids on insurgents hiding in Diyala province. The time for this offensive is now for another reason. Soon, as many as 30,000 American troops will go home. The U.S. goal is to whack hard, finish off the enemy before they can pop up somewhere else.
What's different now, though, is we're not whacking them and then going on to the next problem. We're not leaving. We're whacking them and then establishing security in that area.
But U.S. troops face a renewed threat. Since this operation began, America's top commander has noticed 3 times as many explosive projectiles crossing the Iranian border. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Baghdad.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the world's best surfers convene to ride the perfect wave. And when we come back, dial G for G-Men, way behind on their phone bills.
Morning, kids.
Oh, pancakes.
I knew you'd be happy.
Bisquick Shake and Pour. Just add water, shake and pour. Bisquick Shake and Pour. Shake, pour, make.
Everybody knows that nothing puts a damper on the right moment like an interruption. The good news is it could wait till later. Because for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. No other ED tablet can do both. Work fast or give us the option of having up to 36 hours to get back to what got interrupted. And Cialis works so that I can respond to Sally only when we're ready. Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away. Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because when the moment is right, you can be ready.
If you think all batteries are the same, consider this. When even the firefighters have to get out, they depend on the T-Pass 3 communicator. And packed inside every T-Pass is the only battery they trust. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
Get close anytime. Now you can receive free scope when you buy 3 Fix-It creams.
I've judged just about everything you can grow. I've also become a pretty good judge of what I should eat. See, my doctor told me my cholesterol was higher than we'd like. I watched my diet, but that's not enough. He told me about statins, which are a good option. For me, he chose Zetia. Zetia helps lower my cholesterol differently. Statins work mainly with the liver, not Zetia. It works on the digestive tract, like some other medicines. But Zetia is unique in the way it helps block the absorption of cholesterol that comes from food. Zetia, along with a healthy diet, help lower bad cholesterol by an average of 30 points. That's 18%. It complements my diet and exercise program.
Zetia may not be right for people who have ever had liver problems, are nursing or pregnant, or may become pregnant. Your doctor will decide if Zetia is right for you. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect and should be reported to a doctor right away. Common side effects included tiredness and stomach pain.
Should you take Zetia? Ask your doctor if Zetia is right for you. Zetia is a different way to help fight cholesterol.
Steaming. It's never been used like this before.
We used a new way of steaming to create cafe steamers.
This new and unique steam cooker lets you lock in all the naturally fresh flavors by steaming in your microwave. Try new Healthy Choice cafe steamers.
The debate over FBI wiretaps took an unexpected turn this week. Only this time it's not the legality of the surveillance that's the issue. It turns out the FBI isn't paying its phone bills. And that's the focus of tonight's Weekend Journal. In addition to training agents to hunt for terrorists and criminals, maybe the FBI should start a new course on personal finance. A report by the Justice Department's Inspector General says unpaid bills are rampant at the Bureau, something that's led to telephone companies cutting off phone lines in 5 field offices for non-payments, including critical government wiretaps.
That was part of the reason that I left the FBI.
Mike German was an agent for 16 years.
If the FBI is managed so poorly that they can't do something as simple as pay their bills on time, you can imagine the kind of problems that arise when larger issues are at stake.
The review looked at nearly 1,000 phone lines. More than half of the bills they reviewed were late or not paid at all. One unpaid invoice totaled $66,000. It's the latest post-9/11 bureaucratic mistake by the Bureau, including the failure to account for dozens of missing laptops. The FBI says the majority of operations involving disconnected phones were domestic criminal cases. Only one was a terrorism case.
And in that case, our assessment is there was no threat to national security that was posed by the interruption in collection.
But critics say even one case is too many and wonder why, after years of problems like this, the FBI has failed to fix its bureaucratic machine.
It not only hurts their morale, it risks security.
The report the FBI released this week is a highly edited version of an 87-page audit. The Bureau is balking at calls for the release of the entire audit on the grounds that it's too sensitive. Police nationwide are looking for a U.S. Marine suspected in the murder of a pregnant colleague. Corporal Maria Lauterbach's remains were found in a fire pit in the backyard of Corporal Cesar Lorien. Last month, Lauterbach met with military officials to discuss charging Lorien with rape. Up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, an inventor's dream car. It's fast, powerful, and has a real charge.
Is your sore throat remedy not strong enough? Step up to new Cepacol Maximum Numbing Lozenges. With 50% more pain-numbing medicine, more than any other.
Good morning.
Cepacol. Step up to 50% more.
Well, are you going to pick it or not? It's not ready yet.
Tim and Richard Smucker grew up learning that you have to pick fruit at the peak of perfection if you want jam to taste extra delicious.
It's getting close.
For 5 generations, with a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Did you know 1 in 2 women will develop bone or breast health issues?
Really? I didn't know that.
One A Day Women's is the only complete multivitamin with more calcium for strong bones, and now more vitamin D, which emerging research suggests may support breast health. One A Day Women's.
Today I really struggled with my fibromyalgia. I had pain all over. My muscles ached, so tender to the touch. Fibromyalgia is a real widespread pain condition, which also makes daily activities difficult. But until recently, there were no medicines approved by the FDA to manage fibromyalgia. Prescription Lyrica is the first and only FDA-approved treatment that can help relieve fibromyalgia pain and improve function. Lyrica is not for everyone. Some of the most common side effects of Lyrica are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands and feet. Tell your doctor right away about any serious allergic reaction that causes swelling or affects your breathing or your skin, or about any changes in your eyesight or muscle pain along with a fever or tired feeling. You should not drive or operate machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Ask your doctor if Lyrica is right for you.
Yeah, I tried it all, from eating absolutely nothing but soup to eating absolutely nothing. At one point, I even hired a life coach. Then one day it hit me. The person who knows the most about how I want to live is me.
South Beach Living brings you food that fits your healthy lifestyle. Delicious entrees, bars, and wraps made with whole grains, protein, and fiber. And everything tastes so good, you'll wonder what it was you were doing before you started living. Try living. South Beach Living.
The Michigan primary's up next. Can Romney take his own state? Can Huckabee repeat his Iowa victory? Both candidates face the nation Sunday.
Detroit's International Auto Show gets underway this weekend with glitzy gas guzzlers competing for attention with fuel-efficient hybrids. Among them, a prototype that could be the ultimate green car. Just plug it in, charge it up, and go. Seth Doan took a test drive.
From the outside, it looks almost unremarkable.
I love it. I love this car.
But the technology tucked inside, called XH or Extreme Hybrid, is revolutionary.
The idea is to make it familiar and make it feel good and make it feel ordinary. It's not supposed to be exotic.
What's exotic is that owners can, in part, trade this for this. A plug-in hybrid powerful enough to accelerate to 60 miles per hour in about 10 seconds, with the range to run 40 miles on battery power alone. That's enough to get roughly 80% of Americans through their daily routine.
So for most people going to the store, running errands, getting to work, those typical things, you could take this car and it would run on battery all of the time.
It'd never burn a drop of gasoline.
Wow.
After those 40 miles, the car switches to a standard gas-powered engine. The innovation here lies in special energy storage devices, ultracaps, which kick in during acceleration to protect the batteries. Historically, electric cars have been mostly experimental, with limited range and performance. The problem has been developing durable and safe batteries with enough power to run a big machine.
All electric vehicles were plagued by the same problem, which was the battery.
Ed Furia has ushered this technology from plan to the parkway and says it could signal a wholesale change.
If you can go to work, come back, plug it in, get up the next day and do that every day and not burn a drop of gasoline, everything else follows.
They estimate this technology will add an extra $8,500 to the sticker price of any car, but claim it will pay for itself in 3 to 5 years when you factor in the gasoline savings.
Getting this plug-in hybrid prototype here to a track, operating pretty much like a normal vehicle, has been a process that's taken some 15 years, and it's been a labor of love.
For Furia, once a co-founder of Earth Day and EPA official, developing this technology has been a dream.
It's almost too exciting to express.
And getting behind the wheel, quite emotional.
What we're essentially doing is engaging in something that could produce massive change. So there's a lot of resistance to that.
Furia hopes this technology could eventually help free Americans from pain at the pump and America from its growing dependence on oil. Seth Doan, CBS News, Lawrence, South Carolina.
Just ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, Surf's Up, and the world's best surfers are on board.
Something new for lunch?
Smoked chicken panini.
Really? Toasted Tuscan bread.
With the goodness of whole grain.
Let's make this for Healthy Choice.
I did.
Introducing delicious panini from Healthy Choice.
Have you heard about Miralax?
It's a different kind of laxative that's kind to your body.
Miralax relieves constipation with no bloating.
No cramping. And now, no prescription.
Restore your body's natural rhythm with Miralax.
Now the heartburn-stopping strength of Zantac also comes with a refreshing hint of cool mint. New maximum strength Zantac 150 Cool Mint tablets. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
It's really not so surprising that people can't always eat right. They just have too much on their plate to think about what they should put on their plate. Delicious Ensure. It's a source of complete balanced nutrition to have at breakfast, or lunch, or as a pick-me-up anytime. So when you can't eat right, eat smart. Drink Ensure. Nutrition for a healthier you. Try the new terrific taste of Ensure. Rich and creamy. It's more delicious than ever.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going and going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avidart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avidart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avidart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avidart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avidart.
Is that the hearty chicken rotini diet?
It's the Manhattan clam chowder diet.
It's different.
It's the turkey noodle diet. It's working for you.
Counting calories never tasted better because 25 of your favorite Progresso soups are 100 calories per serving.
Is that chicken and wild rice? Yes.
Rejected. Social Security disability let them down. Could it do the same to you? Our stunning investigation. Monday on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
You could call it the Super Bowl of surfing. 24 of the world's top surfers taking on some of the world's most dangerous waves. The annual contest took place today in the wild and wintry ocean off Northern California. CBS's John Blackstone was stoked for the event.
But there's some serious action on the wave.
For the boldest surfers, this was the day to challenge some of the biggest waves the Pacific can deliver. The surfers are called to the Mavericks contest with just 24 hours notice, when the waves are at their mountainous best.
It's different than climbing a mountain, you know. This mountain's trying to kill you. It's an avalanche.
The waves off the rocky stretch south of San Francisco were rising 30 feet high today for the 24 competitors, brave enough, or maybe crazy enough, to take up the challenge.
This place scares the bejeebies out of me.
The big waves actually break way out there, about a half-mile offshore. Still, on this sunny day, thousands have come to the beach just to catch a distant glimpse of these daring surfers.
It's big and it's scary.
Aaron Hardy came with his family to watch, not to surf. Does he ever take on waves like this?
If he does, he doesn't tell me.
Wiping out on one of these waves can be like falling off a 3- or 4-story building. One of today's competitors, Matt Ambrose, says the secret is to try to relax. So you're seeing a 30-foot wall of water coming at you, and you relax?
As you don't, but as best as you can.
One of the world's legendary big wave surfers, Mark Fu, was killed at Mavericks in 1994. The huge waves aren't the only danger. The water is frigid, and then there are the sharks. But the conditions were perfect for today's winner, Greg Long. His rides brought him the $30,000 first prize.
It's not about the money, but the love of it. And these guys are 6 of my best friends. We decided we're all taking the 1 through 6 and splitting the money.
For those who didn't finish in the top 6, the big prize was simply surviving. John Blackstone, CBS News, Pillar Point, California.
That is the CBS Evening News. Tomorrow on Sunday morning, the latest on the Hollywood writers' strike. Then on Face the Nation, Republican presidential candidates Mike Huckabee and Mitt Romney. I'm Jeff Glor, CBS News, New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Crest White Strips. Crest White Strips Premium is designed to hold the whitening gel in place longer for better results. In fact, each strip gives you twice the whitening of one dissolving strip. Crest White Strips Premium.
Repeats in reality? They are too. Hear from both sides. Plus the star of movies nobody wants to make. Yes, that's me. Laura Linney, this Sunday morning.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Discover the colors of the Starving Artists Art Sale. Discover the beauty that real hand-painted oils can bring to your home. Original sofa-sized paintings sold elsewhere for hundreds of dollars, as low as $19. Smaller paintings from $7, and absolutely nothing over $59. This Sunday only, discover the Starving Artists Art Sale. In Franklin at the Marriott Cool Springs, and in Murfreesboro at the Doubletree. Original sofa-sized oil paintings from $19. This Sunday, 11 to 4.
Dead animals discovered in deplorable conditions. It's a case police are now investigating tonight.
Dry across Middle Tennessee today, but we've got some rain on the way. I'll talk about if that means a wet Sunday coming up.
And country music made Nashville famous, but tonight artists are singing a different tune. I'm Brent Frazier backstage at the Opry House. That story in a live report.
Plus, want the secret to living longer? It may be easier than you think. The news is now.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first and only local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
And good evening, everyone. Dogs may be a man's best friend,